It's an awesome day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, wherever you're watching us across the world. I am super delighted to welcome you to another insightful and educative session of Property Matters here on YouTube. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, my name is Adejare and I'm your host here on Property Matters. Property Matter is a real estate YouTube talk show where we expose you to recent happenings, policies, and other important information that is, concerning real estate investment in Lagos, Nigeria. I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that has been following us. Property Matter will be 2 years by next year, March. So as we celebrate our 2 years on YouTube, we're going to be giving some important, information, and of course doing a master session with some of our real estate investors. More importantly, to test run, those who have been following us to see if they are fully acquainted with some of the information that we have shared here. I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that have been watching us for the past 2 years. You people are so wonderful. Thank you very much. We appreciate your support. In case you're seeing a video like this for the first time, this is where we discuss everything real estate, anything real estate. So do well to subscribe to this channel so that when I drop a video, a very important personality like you will be the very first person that will get to see it. Property matter is where we discuss issues concerning real estate. We've talked about land documents, we've talked about land matters, we've talked about land documentation, we've talked about verified documents, we've talked about how to identify a manipulative real estate developer, we've talked about property acquisition, we've talked about manipulation tendencies, we've talked about Ibejuleki, we've talked about FBI, we've talked about so many important and exciting episodes that will help you to understand the way the market works. And obviously, it will also help you to make a very profitable and of course safe real estate investment decision. So after seeing this particular educative guide, at your leisure time, you are free. We have over 215 videos on YouTube addressing different aspects of real estate. So with us here, you don't have any reason to be scared. And of course, you can get all the basic and of course the needed information as regards real estate investment in Lagos, Nigeria. I'll be back immediately after the short timeout. Stay tuned.
Hi, our 10% discount sales is still on and valid to the 1st of December. Now, for our Fairmont Green and Smart Estate, it was sold for 15 million naira. Now, you're getting it for a discounted sale of 13.5 million naira for our 300 square meter. Our 500 square meter is going for 25 million naira previously, but you're going to get it for 22.5 million naira. The Lagoon Front, our 300 square meter was sold for 14 million naira, but on this sale, you're going to be getting it for 12.6 million naira. Our 500 square meter sold at 22.5, but on the sale, you'll be getting it for 20,250,000 naira. The commercial isn't left out. Previously sold at 30 million, but you can get it for 27 million naira. The Queen's Garden Shimawa, our 300 square meter, previously sold at 3 million naira, but on this discounted sale, you get it for 2.7 million naira. The 500 square meter previously sold at 4.5, but you can get it for 4,050,000 naira. And that's not all. The Pasha Villa in Lashe was previously sold at 30 million naira for 500 square meter, but you will get it for 27 million naira. The Queen's Park Estate in Mowe of Fada for 400 square meter was sold at 4 million naira, but on this discounted sale, you get it for 3.6 million naira. The Queen's Garden Estate, Centenary City in Abuja, for 300 square meter was sold at 6 million naira, but you're getting it for 5.4 million naira. And a 500 square meter for 10 million naira now goes for 9 million naira. The Queen's Park Kashi in Abuja for 300 square meter was sold at 1.5 million naira, but you're getting it for 1,350,000 naira. And the 500 square meter for 2.5 million naira now selling at 2,250,000 naira. Note that this offer valids till the 1st of December. It is still the landmark festive deals extravaganza. And you're welcome.
All right, you're welcome back. You're welcome back. It's an honor and a privilege that I don't take for granted. Once again, Property Matter will be 2 years come next year, Matt. Thank you very much. That means for 2 years we've been giving uninterrupted property updates, property information, and of course giving insightful information to you, our esteemed real estate investors across the world. So please support us by hitting 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And of course, doing the 2 years anniversary with the 2,000 subscriber can only be possible when you subscribe and you share this video. Please, at the end of this video, please make sure you comment, you like this video, so that we will get more views and of course more recommendations, so that a lot of real estate investors will be known and of course will be aware with all the important basic information that guides real estate investment. So in the wake of property demolitions, last week we talked about the first act phase two property demolitions, and a whole lot of people have been, talking about what actually, is causing where we have, frequent demolitions across different parts of Lagos. And I understand that a whole lot of people have been concerned. I'm also equally concerned as well. But today we're going to be talking about why a thorough due diligence will put you in a better position, and of course, why it will not enable your property to be demolished. And this topic is going to be one of the most, the most briefest topic. It's going to be brief. We're not going to be talking extensively, but we're going to be doing a whole lot of insightful information. We'll be sharing some important information, and of course, you'll get to understand what you need to do so that you don't fall victim of property, demolition anywhere in Lagos. Now, somebody asked me a question that this demolition is targeted towards the Igbos, and a lot of people raise concern that it could be a political witch hunting for those who didn't support these present political parties. And I've had a lot of people, raise their concern, and a lot of information I've been flowing online. More importantly, in Instablog, and a lot of people said he has warned his Igbo brothers not to invest in Lagos. And I've received a lot of calls, a lot of inquiries, and this is why I'm going to be talking about a thorough due diligence when you are doing real estate investment in Lagos. I'll be outlining three practical steps, and of course, when you understand and of course implement these three practical steps, you won't have any reasons to be scared or to to express any form of doubt. Of course, you would have comfortably follow what needs to be done in order for you not to be any form of property demolition. Now, the very first thing is that there is no political side to these demolitions. Okay, I've said this before. The people that whose houses were demolished in Ikota, I know the Igbos were there, the Yorubas are there, and other tribes in Lagos also experienced this. In Abuleado, which is a first community that this demolition also happened, we have the Yorubas, we have the Igbos, we have the North. So whenever we have the issues of property demolitions, it's just based on the fact that a whole lot of people tend to attack a lot of political importance to this, which obviously is not an objective analysis to this. Okay, and this is why we're having this topic today, and I'm going to explaining why some people fell victims of these property demolitions, and I will also be outlining what you need to do. Okay, in case you have bought properties and you're not sure of the status, I'll be outlining the most important thing you need to do so that anytime government struck, because you see, this is not going to be the last. This is not going to be the last. There will be several demolition, and you understand that when governments are doing developmental projects or they're doing demolition projects, they do it in phases. Okay, so today we are going to be explaining what you need to do when you are buying property so that you will not fall victim of property demolitions. Once again, there is no political undertone to what might be happening. It's just a simple environmental laws and regulations that many people did not understand. And when we come online to explain some of these things, it is not because of the fact that a lot of people don't understand these environmental laws and they tend to give some sentimental conclusions on this. Okay, so let's quickly talk about this: the importance of thorough due diligence. Now, as a real estate investor, when you're buying properties, you need to understand the master plan that is regulating that environment. Now, it is in the master plan, okay, that you will see where government have specified different projects, whether present or future. Now, this master plan will help you understand where you are supposed to situate your project. Now, I've said it before that when people buy properties or they ignorantly invest in properties without understanding this master plan, they tend to do things, okay, and at the end, okay, they may also incur, okay, the wrath of the government. So the master plan gives a specifications of what is coming to that particular location. Under the master plan, it will be situated in the master plan where we're going to have malls, where we're going to have shop, where we're going to have supermarket. In the master plan, if there's going to be maybe few stations, it will be situated in the master plan. Now, also in the master plan, if there will be future road expansion or bridges or drainages, it will be situated in that master plan. Now, the idea of the master plan basically is that the master plan will help you to understand where government have marked for residential purposes and where government have marked for commercial purposes. Now, the reason basically where we have subsequent, demolitions that is happening basically is a two-way thing. It might be due to the fact that the developer may be aware, okay, that this is the master plan. This is where I'm not supposed. This is where I'm supposed to situate my buildings, and this is where I'm not going to situate my building. Now, I've seen instances whereby some real estate developer intentionally, okay, go against the plan of this master plan. Now, many of them do this comfortably because they believe that they can bribe, okay, government officials, okay, to overlook what they want to do in that region. Some will say, how can government want to use a road 30 acres for road project or for any other thing? We will give them, the appropriate authorities money for them to change the master plan to our favor so that we can have more land to build our structures. This has happened in different places. Now, in some cases, it may work, okay? If the present officers or the present government officials at that point may accept a bribe. But once a new government official comes in place, the government official will certainly want to stick to the master plan, okay? This is why we have frequent demolitions across different parts of Lagos. There have been instances whereby some people have been able to bribe officers for them to shift or turn a master plan to their favor. But once their tenure expires and some new government officials comes in place, they will obviously want to stick to the master plan. Now, the question is, how many people do you want to bribe? So it's an intentional thing. Okay, a lot of people have seen instances whereby some real estate developer will say, don't worry, we'll give them money, they will do this in our favor, they will change it. How can we just waste this land? So sometimes most of these causes of demolitions are man-made, they are caused by people, greedy real estate developers who want to acquire as much because of their own selfish needs. Now, the second reasons for this basically is that, sorry, most of these people build without understanding that there is a master plan. Now, the case of what happened in Festac is a clear demonstration of this. Some people build without consulting the appropriate offices in Alausa, or if it is Lagos State, it is Alausa. If it is federal, you go to the Federal Housing Authority, because I explained in the previous videos that people that fall into these things, they are offices managing different estates and managing properties. So you need to understand the one that falls under Lagos State, and you approach the necessary authorities for you to have a guide, okay? Then if it is under the Federal Housing Authority, you go to their office and approach the federal. So in most cases, most real estate investors or builders don't approach the necessary authorities. And of course, this is due to the fact that corruption has eaten deeper, and when people begin to suffer for some of these things, they begin to blame government. In most cases, government always expects you to do the right thing, but they don't vocalize it. They don't let you know that they expect you to do the right thing. So in most cases, what happens basically is that many people are unaware of where this master plan is. So people have ignorantly, I know, have ignorantly built where they ought not to build. And this is where it is very important that you work with the necessary officers that would enable you to work in accordance to the matter. Because the truth of the matter is, government will never ever work without following their master plan. Now, the thing is that they don't enforce it as at when people expect them to. So they only enforce it when they have gotten to a phase where they have to carry out the plan that is in that their original master plan that was initiated. So in most cases, you can buy a property and build where you're supposed to. Government may not come in the next 3 years, it may not come in the next 5 years, but when they are ready, they initiate their action. That is the first reason. Now, the second reason basically is due to the fact that many people are buying the wrong properties. Many people are buying and investing in the wrong properties. Now, in the Lagos State real estate industry, we have so many people who are into real estate development. So, in most cases, it is very difficult for you to tell fake from original unless you work with an experienced hand that understands this industry. Now, there was a case of a scenario that happened. Now, this particular real estate investor has already bought this property, and this property was situated along that Shongotedo area. Now, according to this investor, she told us that the property had a what? A C of O. And the architect and the engineers, okay, prepared a building. So when they got to Alausa, they found out that they had to reject their building plan. And this one was bothered that why did they have to reject my building for approval? I have a C of O. But so when she contacted my team, my surveyors went on set to work on that particular land. And when they were doing their verification, they found out that where that woman was allocated was outside the C of O. So there have been instances where real estate developers will tell you that they have C of O's. And I've seen instances whereby a 10 acre, a 20 acres land, the number of plots that will fall under the C of O may be 2 or 3 acres. Now, because of the fact that real estate investors are not aware that it is possible for them to manipulate titles and use maybe a 2 acre C of O to sell a 20 acres land. It has happened. This is not the first time we have experiencing this. We have experienced several times. There was even a scenario at that Eleko site where a real estate developer told us that the land is gazetted. So when we began to do our own due diligence, we found out that out of the 12 acres that this developer was selling, okay, we only have just 4 acres that are gazetted. So other lands outside that gazette that is still within that same estate will be sold to people. So there have been instances whereby a lot of people are buying from the wrong real estate developers and they are falling victims because of the fact that they have given you. They will say, some will say there's a registered survey. Yeah, if the land is committed, I found out that there are even ways that people can even manipulate and get registered survey despite the fact that the land is committed. It is in this our present Lagos. Anything can happen. So in cases whereby, okay, they told you your land is RC or vote, at governor's consent, they allocated you and you don't get a real estate surveyor to confirm if your plot is inside that C of O or that gazette, when you want to build, you will have issues. And in most cases, when governments are demolishing, okay, when governments are demolishing, they will leave the ones that are inside the C of O, okay, and go for the ones that are not under the title. And because of the fact that there's greed and there's manipulation in this our industry, it is very difficult for you to tell who is who. And this is why you need to work with a professional. I've seen instances where some investors will tell you, this is my realtor, I've been working with him. But do you know that there are some instances whereby there are some properties investment you want to do that you need somebody who is even more vast and more experienced than your realtor? It's not a case of maybe you are trying to teach the person. We're talking about millions of naira that you're putting in investment. So you don't want to attach sentiment, or you want what you want to be considerate when money is involved. So these. So the final thing basically that we are doing basically is that when it comes to due diligence, okay, real estate investor, you people need to understand that it is expensive. Due diligence is very expensive. It is not everybody that can afford it. It is not all realtors, okay, that can afford to do a thorough due diligence. If I'm coming here to tell you people that we're doing due diligence, I'm not the one doing it alone. It's not possible for me alone to handle that due diligence. There are some due diligence that our lawyers will have to read the contract of sale and the deed of assignment. There's a due diligence that our surveyors will have to map out that land. There's a due diligence that we have to send property documents or send building approval to allow, sir. So it's a team, it's a chain of what? Of teamwork. So what we do basically is that after our various team members have done what they need to do, they give us a report, and it is the report that we act on. several months ago. You can do diligence at Alausa then for 15,000 right now. The minimum and the cheapest you can do right now, as I'm talking to you right now, is over 30,000-40,000 naira. So most cases, most people cannot afford it, and that's why it is very sometimes extremely difficult for them to do a thorough due diligence. So diligence have just gone beyond them saying we've searched the land. No, you will search the land, you will search the survey, you will search the approval, you will search the building the layout, you will check the document. A lawyer will have to sit down to check their deed of assignment. There are some clauses that may be included in that deed that may not favor you. So due diligence has gone beyond what it used to be. It is now intense. And now, with the wave of property demolitions, we as ourselves, we needed to intensify what we were doing. We're doing it before. We're doing it before, but we have to intensify. There were some things that our legal team said we should be looking out for that will be included to our work. So it is very expensive. So that is why we cannot do it for free. There have been instances whereby some real estate investors that are bought from them, they will just randomly chat us, is this land free? What do you expect us to tell you that it's not free? Did you pay for the service? So we cannot disclose any information because of some security purpose, and of course because of the fact that we also need to create a good mutual relationship with some of these real estate developers. But what we do basically is that we have intensified our due diligence, and what we have discovered in our course of action is alarming, is overwhelming. In fact, there are some things you will see on site that for like 20 minutes we won't be able to talk, and we're like, wow. So this is why a thorough due diligence is. So it has gone beyond what it used to be. How do you explain a situation where they tell you a land is C of O? You check that your plot is outside the C of O. How do you explain a scenario where they tell you a land is gazetted and it's only 4 acres that is falling under a gazette of 12 acres? How do you explain a situation where they tell you land is excised and you take a survey to allow and they find out that there's no excision there? How do you explain a scenario where they tell you land is freehold and you have done an extensive, you find out the land is committed? There are some things that cannot be explained online, and that is why you need to intensify your due diligence when you're buying properties. What we spend on due diligence, in fact, in a month, in a week alone, we spend more than 100,000 naira searching 1 or 2 properties because of the fact that we know that Lagos State will not change their policy to favor anybody. So this is one of the things that I want you to appreciate also what we're doing. So in case you're doing real estate investment and you want a thorough hand to handle it, you know who to call. We are here. So I don't work alone. We have lawyers, we have surveyors, we even have people in lands that confirm. You know, there are a lot of things that we have included to our chain of operations that is very, very important. So now, finally, they said the properties that were demolished in in some parts in Festac had C of O. I've never seen a scenario where a land will have C of O and government will demolish it. I stand to be corrected. In my 7 years of experience, I'm yet to see a land that will have C of O. Okay, where government will demolish it. In some cases where you have even built on that land, you don't have a building approval. Okay, the instances where government will give you grace or maybe lock down the site. Okay, for you to come and seek your approval before you start completing your project. But for a land to have your one, they will demolish it. In my 7 years of experience, I'm yet to see it. But of course, we learn every day. In case you have seen any, you can drop the comment section and our team will investigate and know what actually happened. So this is where I'm going to draw the curtain of today's episode of Property Matters. I hope you people have found value. Thank you very much. 2 years of wonderful service, 2 years of wonderful sharing insight information about the real estate market. Please and please and please, finally, do well to subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. We need you to subscribe and invite your family and friends to do so. Thank you very much for your support. And of course, patronize us. Let us help you handle your next real estate investment. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you. Bye.